Hello everyone, my name is Aaron. I play under the username Abarone68. I am the newest member of the stream team, and joining me today for Focus Friday is Lime Ricky.
Hi everybody.
We will be reviewing her recent run in the 22 PKO Rumble. I think a lot of people when it comes to poker coaching or poker training are a little insecure about where you're at in your game. You're trying to get better, and everyone's at different levels when it comes to this game. We all start out at the same place, and we all really have the same goal, which is trying to get better, trying to improve, whether we're just starting out, whether we're been playing for a while, or we're a crusher. There's always room to get better. And I hope that people don't feel bad about where they're at, because for me personally, the only thing that would make me feel bad is just to avoid trying to improve out of that sort of fear. So there are going to be spots here that you know, Lime didn't play perfectly. It happens to everyone. I've never played a tournament or a session where I'm just like, oh man, 100% played perfectly, on to the next. Like, there are always things to work on, and having that attitude is part of what makes you a winning player. So we'll start with mistake number one. I'm just kidding. You're in the cutoff with ace-6 offsuit, and you limp. And so I think this hand, whether we're going to play it or not, is sort of debatable. I'd probably be playing it in most lineups, but I would suggest just coming in for a raise.
Okay.
And so the first thing I noticed was that I thought you were just limping far too much. Do you have any particular reason why you had a lot of your strategy being more limp heavy than raise heavy?
Sometimes I like to get a feel for what the rhythm of the table is, in much the same way as if I play the cash game. And some cash games get very raisy, very splashy, pre-flop, very fast. Other cash games are very limpy, very speculative.
So I agree that, you know, feeling out the table is very important. But I think that if you just folded, you can still get a feel for that table, right? I don't think you have to be the one limping to get that feel. I would suggest, I'm going to say almost never, like open limping, excluding blind on blind play. By limping, you are putting yourself much more at the mercy of the deck, right? You limp ace-6, you win this pot because you hit an ace, you hit a 6, you hit a straight, whatever. When you raise, there's more of a chance you can win the pot uncontested. Having a simplified strategy means it's a lot harder for you to make a big mistake. And then there's a raise, and you end up calling. And like, this hand's just not good. I'd rather have a hand like 9-8 suited, or Jack-9 suited, or Queen-10 suited. And so even though all those hands are technically worse than ace-6 offsuit, they're also hands that are more likely to make straights or flushes. And you said it yourself, this is a really bad ace to have.
Yeah, it's the worst one you can have.
People talk about reverse implied odds, and what that just basically means is that you're going to win a small pot or lose a big one often. And you think about, if he has a hand like kings, and it comes with an ace on the board, how much value are you really getting? You might face a c-bet and call. You might bet a small amount on the turn, but on the river, I don't know, top pair, weak kicker, no kicker, you might just not even get a river bet in there. And one of the big values of position is actually that river bet. You get to be the one who closes out the action on the last street. And so you get to be the one who puts in either puts in a big bet to make your opponent fold a weak hand, or to get value from a worse hand. This sort of hand, it's going to be tough for you to go for even 2 streets of value, let alone 3. Well, this was an interesting one.
Ooh, okay.
This is so far so good. You have kings, they raise, you make it around 3 times their size. Now what? What do you want to do now? I know, right?
Worst possible freaking outcome. He's got some aces in his range. Obviously, kings are in trouble here, but honestly, in this spot, like, part of me wants to just bet and rep that ace, but I'm scared to do it.
So why are you scared?
Because I don't want to lose.
That's fair. Nobody wants to lose. You can't really refute that. But you play tournaments fairly often. Most tournaments end with you losing. Not to be harsh, but that's just how it goes. And for me too, right? Like, I don't win every tournament I play. I don't win almost all of them. At some point, we're going to lose. And, you know, we kind of have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to make as many chips as we can along the way and make the right decisions and hope it works out. So I don't like this flop either. I saw a bunch of people in chat like, always an ace, oh no, not like this. But your range overall, you've got pocket aces in it, you've got ace king, you've got ace queen, you've got ace jack. Like, this board's not that bad for your overall range. I would probably bet here. I could see checking actually be decent too, like there's some, you know, some checking, some betting. But the thing about, if I'm betting here, I'm not thinking I'm trying to rep that ace and make him fold. I'm just thinking, overall, my entire range wants to bet here, and if he has a hand like Jack 10 or Pocket 8s and wants to call, that's great. So I think a lot of people here would pick a really big bet size because they're like, I have the ace and I'm going to scare him off. Your opponent's not going to fold a hand like Ace Deuce. They're not folding. They're just going to call. So if I'm not going to make him fold top pair, I'm really just... It's not about bluffing him with this hand. It's that, do I think this hand is worth an actual value bet right now? Yeah, maybe. I mean, if he has the pocket 8s or the 6-5, seems fine. I mean, my entire betting strategy on this board is going to be very small overall, but it would be small with ace king. It'd be small with pocket aces. It'd be small with ace jack. And with kings, it can be small too.
If I did lead out here, I was probably inclined to bet a half pot bet.
So I think half pot is a standard size that people bet almost exclusively when they don't know what to bet.
Yep.
It's a size that I think one of the first bet sizes I was told about was you could bet, you know, in relation to the size of the pot. Oh, half pot. Half pot is standard. That's what people always say. When you have ace king or aces or ace queen, you know, you don't need to bet so big. You can still bet a small sizing. I would probably bet around 1/3, 500 chips. If you bet 1,000 and villain 4 folds pocket 9s, you won the pot, but
I missed more value by not having them coming along for the ride.
Exactly. So if we already agree on the flop that you're not making them fold an ace, we're never bluffing them now with this exact hand. It's just not going to work. So it's either a value bet or a check call to induce a bluff. It's not just about winning hands. Even though winning hands is fun, you know, you want to get the most value you can. So you bet a little over half. I think this falls right into what we were talking about. Like, you're just like, man, I don't like this flop, and I'm going to bet big and hope they fold and rep the ace.
This is scared money again. I want to scare him out of the pot because I'm afraid of that ace.
Mm-hmm. And I think realizing that's really important, though.
Which is stupid, because if he's got an ace, he's not going to fold, and I've just given him even more chips when I could have bet smaller, kept the price more reasonable, exposed myself to less risk while still gleaning value if I do have the best hand.
It's not the first flop you'll ever see with kings where there's an ace in it. It won't be the last. And you just have to have, again, having that solid strategy in your mind for what I want to do in these sort of spots also removes a lot of that fear. And if you're certain or more confident in a spot, then you're going to feel a lot better.